Howdy, my darling Gemini. How you doing? My name is SimplyVelca, and we're gonna get into your weekly tarot reading, Gemini, for June 2023. All right, we're already at the halfway point. All right, it's crazy. So let's get into your tarot reading. Enough of the small talk, enough of the introductions, honey. Let's see what's been happening in your life and what clarity I can be bringing to you, my friend. All right. So you have the Page of Cups coming in here. So already here, Gemini, you're coming into this reading, and I just need to give you the heads up right now. All right, I need to give you the heads up right now, Gemini, that be expecting some new energy coming into your life. Now, what this means is the Page of Cups, by definition, represents, you can even Google if you don't believe me, because I know there's a lot, you're so used to tarot readings, you're probably like immune to it at this point when you're just like, oh, new love, new soulmate coming, da 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 da. Darling, if you actually Google the Page of Cups, it literally says a new person potentially entering your life. But also the Page of Cups can represent opportunities, new opportunities finding you, whatever the case is. All right, it's new energies about to be coming into your life here, and why Spirit's bringing this forward, they're worried about you missing out on it here because of like something that you've been having to deal with. All right, so this gives me very much so like a narrative, perhaps like where it's like, let's just say, for example, Gemini, like money's like a problem for you, honey. Like there's like everybody, right? Money's like a problem for you. And so like your answer right now is just like, oh, I got to pick up more hours at work. I got to do, that's your thing. Very rational and logical thing, obviously, right, Gemini? But in this dynamic here, it's this sense of where your spiritual team doesn't want you to keep yourself so busy to the point of like you miss out on new things coming in. It's like this sense of where you won't choose to entertain like different exploring different things to make more money, because like you're just so focused in on trying to make cups that are already underwhelming work out. In a social way, it's like having to entertain people in your life socially, romantically, platonically, family wise. It's like you're having to deal with so much drama and deal with these people in your life that you don't even have time or energy, the emotional capacity to entertain new folks coming into your life here. And so what I want to just be saying right off the bat here, Gemini, is that don't waste your time too much obsessing over current things in your life or current people in your life that like it is what it is. All right, so let's just say for example here, I'm your Five of Cups, Gemini. Let's say I'm your Five of Cups in the sense of where I'm always like every single day I'm always like texting you, Gemini, is like, oh hey, like just starting some crap with you. And because you care about me and you're just like, oh, let me just fix these problems, let me figure this out here, new people trying to come into your life here, or even just like outside of that, like new opportunities trying to find its way towards you, is not able to, because you're so focused in on having to deal with me and my crap that you're not able to change your perspective into something else that would actually be extremely valuable to you. It would be this sense of where it's like, after you just get off the phone with me and after I started like talking your ear off and saying, just being annoying towards you. I really don't like using myself as an analogy here. If someone like then comes knocking on your door and wanting to just hang out with you, you're just like, no, I don't have the capacity right now here. 10 of Cups coming in here in the back of the deck. This is me. This is like a message saying, Gemini, where it's like, this new energy that's trying to enter your life would be able to be in your close circle really quickly. If it's a person, it would be like you would really click well with this person here. If it's an opportunity here, it would be something that would bring forth a lot of fulfillment for you and be really good for you. But you are not able to explore this new opportunity that could develop into be something very profitable or very financially abundant for you, because you keep on picking up doubles at work. And we already know, honey, if you pick up doubles at work, it doesn't even feel like it's rewarding anymore to do overtime, because it's like you can put all this overtime in, and it's like by the time you get your check, it's like 90% of it was taken away from taxes, right? It's like you're punished for doing overtime. And so that's what I get here, is this sense of where it's like, it's not necessarily you need to quit what it is that you're dealing with. Just make it sure that you're not giving too much of yourself to these current things that are just, it is what it is, right? To the point where you're not able to bring in any new energy. All right, so it's a very specific message for somebody. I don't know if it's like some of y'all are just dealing with some really irritating folks, or just like a job that's really irritating here, but don't have it be all encompassing overall. So let's just move that to the side. I feel like that was like its own message. Let's just continue on for your reading here. 10 of Swords. Now, the Ten of Swords actually came out for you when I was shuffling, Gemini, at the beginning of this year. It fell out, but I didn't want to take the card, so I just like put it back in the deck. So this Ten of Swords coming in here, it's like your spiritual team is like, no, now we got to do a wraparound, honey. We got to get back to the original message here. All right, Ten of Swords. This is letting you know that a really tough period in your life is finally coming to an end here. All right, tens represents closures to cycles, Gemini. All right, so some of you are not going to be able to handle hearing this right now, but girl, I don't care. I feel like for you, there's like an expiration date when it comes to certain things in your life. And I feel like I just don't want you to avoid the inevitable. All right. It's like something is inevitably going to come to an end. That just isn't good anymore. All right. But I feel like you're allowing it in your life because of obligation, right? Maybe it's like you feel obligated to work this job, even though it's annoying and because you've been there for years. Or maybe it's like a relationship. Again, using myself as this example, like you've known me for years. And so it's like you feel obligated to deal with my BS all the time, right? I really do see something coming to an end here that you'll hear it now and you're just like, you don't want to conceptualize it. But I feel like after it happens, you'll realize the amount of like weight that is lifted off of your shoulders. And you're like, wow, you know, and I don't know if you're going to be ready to handle hearing that right now, Gemini, but I digress here. All right. Because whatever it is, like, again, it is really drilling into here, Gemini. I don't know what it is that y'all have been dealing with during my absence, but it's like this is something just like talking your ear off and just really not bringing you any joy. I even heard this message as someone like brought up someone. Whenever I do these tarot readings, Gemini, I don't talk about the spiritual side of it any, but there's very specific spiritual guides that I work with when I do readings. And so that someone was the sense of like, is not wanting to admit it, like a mother perhaps, or someone that is like part of the family, and you're just like, you don't want to vocalize how much of a nuisance they actually are. I don't know. Seven of Wands coming in here. Let's do one more, and then the High Priestess. Gemini, I feel like if you were to hear and to see what like the full picture on things, you would not feel nearly as obligated to entertain the BS that you currently entertain. So let me just use work for an example. I don't feel like you would be doing 10 different people's. It's like, here's the thing, Gemini, you are working for minimum wage, or it's like just not the amount that you deserve to be paid. And you're working 10 different people's jobs, but you're only being paid for one. And the only reason why you're doing this is because you just felt that sense of obligation towards doing that. I see for you, like you would not be doing all these other people's jobs because being a people pleaser that you are, if you realize like what was going on behind the scenes. Now, I don't want to give like a specific analogy for this here, but Seven of Wands here is giving me very much so like, I don't want to say two-faced energy here, but it's like, I just worry about you being taken advantage of, or people seeing you as like a chess piece in their life when they need to have a wake-up call and be like, actually, don't be trying to play chess with me, honey. That's really where that's the energy that I get here with this. If I were to associate this with myself, I would be looking at this and be like, who the heck thinks that they are in control? Like, it's this sense of where you are functioning from a place of like teamwork with somebody, and the person that you're on the team with takes you for granted and does their own thing. They don't even consider you at all. And then, yeah, they just see you as disposable. And I kind of see this message here where it's just like, Gemini, if you just knew everything that was going on here, you would not feel nearly as obligated to entertain certain folks or to try nearly as hard as you are currently doing. Like, that's like the main message that I get here with this is like, you are being such a good person. You're being such a people pleaser. You are just really, you know, living in your high standard there. And the folks that are around you or what you're giving your energy to just does not appreciate or respect you in the way that you are deserving of. And I feel like that's what's coming to an end with that Ten of Swords. That's what I feel like, Gemini, is being cut off, because it's like your spiritual team is seeing this, like, man, like, what are we having to do to really finally convince Gemini to stop wasting their time with a dead horse, essentially here, right? Again, let's go back to the analogy with me. I don't like using myself in this way here, but let's just say, like, you would not be as willing to pick up the phone every single time I'm like deciding to call you and start some crap with you if you knew the stuff that I was saying about you to other folks, or if you knew how I actually saw you. Does that make sense? So we'll just leave it like that here, Gemini. We'll do 2 more cards because I feel like there's like another, again, like for your reading is very different because I feel like it's like in sections, Gemini, very specific message. So we'll do 1 set more. I think 2 more cards will be appropriate for this, and then I'll just let you enjoy the rest of your day, darling. All right, Ace of Cups coming in here, Magician card coming in, and then the 4 of Cups. All right. So what has been your major blockage in terms of receiving just blessings in your life, whether the blessings come in the shape of folks or people, or in the shape of just opportunities for work and all that, is because of that distraction. And once again, you have the 4 of Cups, this sense of a distraction here, and the Magician. It doesn't matter how hard you try to manifest, how hard you personally work, Gemini, you're still going to meet that same block in your life if you choose to try to make those 3 empty cups something filled. When if you were to just change your perspective, you'll see what your spiritual team is trying to get you to notice. All right. And so the answer to your problems, Gemini, is just giving up on something, essentially. Because that cup is not going to get filled anymore, honey. All right. And so if you have been trying to figure out like what you've been needing to do to bring forth manifestations in your life, I feel like I said what I needed to say, honey. All right. So I feel like you get the point, Gemini. So I'm going to close out this reading. I hope something in here gave you some clarity. If you're looking for further clarity in your life, you can book a private tarot reading with me, linked down below on my website, and I'll talk to you later, darling. Bye, Gemini.